Hi everyone, I hope you're really well. Thanks a lot for joining me for another video. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of muting when it comes to lead guitar playing. Muting is basically a way of getting rid of any unwanted noise that we don't intend to be heard, and really just to give us greater control over our playing. The guitar's a naturally noisy instrument, as I'm sure you're aware, and with any kind of overdrive or distortion especially, it really just wants to ring out. And if we don't control that, then it can sound really, really messy and sloppy. So muting is a great way of controlling that. So I've got 3 really effective yet subtle techniques that I'm going to break down for you. So hopefully you can get this into your playing as soon as possible, really help you tidy up, get a lot of control over what you're doing and get rid of all that unwanted noise. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So first off, we're going to have a look at a fretting hand technique, which is really effective at preventing strings from ringing either side of the note that you're actually playing. If we play the notes in a scale or a phrase with our fingers directly on the tips, we always run the risk of other notes, open strings, ringing out when we don't want them to, especially if we're doing techniques like pull-offs. That type of thing. We really want to kind of keep that under control. So the trick to this is to use the index finger and angle it slightly. So rather than playing it right up on its tip, we're going to angle it slightly just by bringing the hand back a little bit, and that's going to touch the second string, or the string that happens to be above the note you're playing, and also the tip of the finger is going to touch the 4th string. So we're playing this note here on the G string, but I've got the B string and the D string muted as I do it. So that way if we do the pull off now, even if I try and deliberately catch this B string, there's no way that note's going to ring out, so it just really, really tidies things up. And if you can use that first finger in that position as you move through your scale positions and your different phrases and licks, then you'll always control the note that you're hearing above or below the string that you actually want to hear. Okay, so the second technique is really designed to give you maximum control over your string bending. This uses the pick as a mute to control when we hear bent notes ascending and descending essentially. Oftentimes when we're doing a string bend, we want to be able to bend it obviously up to pitch, but we might not always want to hear the note ascend before we play whatever note happens to follow it. So obviously sometimes we do want that effect, but we might want this. So what we do is, as soon as the note reaches pitch, we're going to place the pick back on that string, which obviously mutes the string. Then we can release the bend without hearing anything, and then we can play the note we intend to play next. Now in reality this happens really quickly, so you kind of have to get good at playing it slowly first. It's a real coordination thing, so it's about putting that pick on just before you play the next note to mute it. This also works great for things like pre-bending, so if you want to bend the note to pitch first, and place that pick on the string, pre-bend the note, and then release the string and then play the next note after. So getting the hang of that really helps you to control what you want to do with your bends and get the maximum expression out of them. So our final technique is again using the picking hand, and this is to help us control the unwanted vibration of the lower strings. So anything lower than the notes we're playing, especially the EA and the D strings. With no muting, especially if we play with any kind of overdrive or distortion, the guitar strings are going to naturally ring out. So if we play through a scale with this hand floating, you can hear how all those notes really ring out and vibrate. Now sometimes that could be the required effect. You know, you might want that kind of natural reverb, that really open sound. But often it's something we want to control and we want to stop from happening. So to do that, we're going to actually use the picking hand. It's like the thumb really, it's the base of the thumb and the lower part of the hand just there. And we're going to use that to sit resting across the strings. Now we're not going to use this side of the hand, which is where we usually do palm muting with. It's slightly different angle, so it's going to be across this side. And we just place that lightly on the strings. So now when we play the lower notes, we're going to have to start high because we're going to play the lower part of the scale. As I get to about the third string, my hand is now on the base of my thumb. You can't really see it, it's in there. It's kind of just resting lightly on those strings. So I stop all of these lower notes from ringing out. And if you kind of couple that with the index finger technique we looked at earlier, then you've really got control over only hearing the note you actually want to hear and no excess noise ringing out at all. So a great way of getting rid of any of that unwanted noise. I mean, these techniques are really, really useful. They take a bit of getting used to, especially if you haven't tried any of these before. You've got to persevere a little bit, I think. Sometimes it's not like a one-size-fits-all, so you have to kind of find what works for you, experiment with different angles, different positions. But ultimately, it's a great way of getting rid of any unwanted noise and really just tidying up your playing in general. So I really hope you find those useful. Again, with perseverance and practice, these can really become a staple of your playing going forward and something that you'll use for the rest of your guitar playing life to really keep your playing under control. If you enjoyed the lesson, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you all again in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.